What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. Today we're here on the mid-tier account. We don't have a bunch of stuff to do. We just got little things here and there. First up, do a guild boss fight or like two, because it's not going well in the guild boss area. But also, I want to run and do a little bit of tower fighting, because I haven't done the tower push on this account for a while. At least I can't remember doing it in a while. And I'd like to get further up in the rankings than Peasant 15 down here, okay? That's not high enough. And we need to be upper areas, okay? We need to be going this way. Okay, we're going to do that. That's the game plan today while we do it, okay? Because I know in the past week or so, there's been a couple episodes of me kind of bashing on the game, right? I've done that. You know why? Well, because I'm a little frustrated with it. But here's the difference, okay? I don't like to focus just on problems. That's kind of like, it's not my jam, because being negative about things doesn't really ever solve anything. What you got to do is try to come up with solutions, and that's what I try to do. I try to be a solution-minded person. So we're going to set things up here for the guild boss fight, and then we're going to talk about some potential solutions to the game. It's going to be great, probably. Do I need this? What the crap? We'll throw it on there. We'll throw it on there. The baids are gonna, it's not going to be worth it. Let's throw it on, we'll keep that on there. Mind changing, it's good. It's good for you. If I clear my throat a lot, it's because I don't know. Maybe it's allergies. I don't know what the crap's going on. Just, it's always the junkage in your throat. Hate it. Hate it so much. It's not my jam. But we're going to deal with it. I don't have a solution for that yet. We're coming up with it. So anyways, we're going to jump in here and fight some Baids. Bade used to be a joke. Now Bade's the devil. And we're going to have to take the devil and spank him. Spank him over our knee. It's going to be great. But anyways, here's the thing. With E5 coming up, we need to go to double speed, though, because that's going to take forever. With E5 on its way to being a thing, there are certain things about the game that I would say kind of need to be changed. And one of those, I would say, if you actually want to make a more strategy-based game and have more game modes that are fun to play, you're also going to need to kind of change how the game runs right now, because as it sits, building units takes forever. 11 million damage. I mean, it's better than last time, but not really by much. Not by a whole lot. We're still at the top for right now, so we got a couple more battles to go. But for even someone like me, who I've been playing the game for about 2 years now, on my oldest account, I still don't have a full E3 team. You know, be it as it may, I didn't play the game exactly the smartest for the first 6 months of my playtime. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I was learning, and that's just how you do it. I was learning, have a good time, playing it, having fun. But even my newer account, my heaviest spending account that I'm on, look at that, just billions of damage. I hate you so much. You're ridiculous. I hate you, Bade. But even my more PvP-oriented account where I've spent the most money, even there, I'm only at 4 E3 heroes, and I've been playing it for, oh, Lord, 7-8 months? More than that? I don't know. It's been a long time, I'll tell you that much. It's been a minute, all right? We've been playing it for a while, and we're not all that close to even a full E3 team. With E5 coming around the corner, especially, like, even for me, it's like, do I really want to play this game for another 2 years to build one E5 team to play the same game modes I've played the entire time that I've played? And honestly, the answer is no. I don't really want to play this game for 2 more years just to build an E5 team to fight the exact same challenges that I've already been fighting the entire time I've played. So, how do you fix this problem? How do you fix this issue of super long build times? And like, this is a person who spent a lot of money in the game, okay, that's already got a decent start. If you downloaded the game today and you're like, oh, E5's a thing, it's going to take me 8 to 10 months to build that sucker. One of them, it's pretty disheartening when you see how slow it is to actually build things. It takes a while. It takes a long while. So do we want to leave a Dant? No, we don't want to leave Dant all damage-oriented. We want to make our Dant at least slightly resistant to damage. We'll do that. We'll make you slightly less of a wheen. There you go. Get in there, Dant. You're looking good. You're looking hot. You're ready to slay butts. We're good. We're good here. I don't know where we're going to go to. We're just going to kind of go. But pop that in there. Not going to skip the battles. We're going to watch the battles because that's half the fun. Makes the video longer. Helps me talk about things, not have to focus on what I'm doing so much. Anyways, here's the thing. So with those humongously long build times that we've got heading our way real fast like, there's a problem when it comes to actual strategy-based gameplay. Okay, there's gonna be. It's just because when it takes forever to build a hero, you can't really just swap a hero immediately and just keep swapping heroes around or build a bunch of heroes very quickly. It's not a thing. And that's one thing that games like Summoners War, I referred back to it a lot because it was a pretty good game. I mean, it had decent amount of faults in it too, don't get me wrong. Definitely it did. But it had certain things right. Certain things that were really fun to play about the game. It's the reason the game's still around as long as it's been, going. It has fun aspects. There's certain things about the game that make you want to keep playing it. Idle Heroes doesn't have a lot of that. It's got where you build a team, and the thing is, you can build your team all day long. If the gameplay is still the same, there's no real challenge, no real strategy to building your team, it's going to get boring in a pretty quick fashion. And here's how we're going to fix that. Okay, here's how we're going to fix that if I was a dev. Here's what I would do. First up, if you want to implement more strategy-based gameplay, you've also got to streamline the hero building process. There's no way around that. You can't have heroes that take a year to build or, 6 months to build, even, to being useful levels, and expect your game to actually work decently well. You can't have strategy and that together, because by the time you've built your strategy-based team, quote unquote, everything has changed in the game anyway. It's like, well, my huge great strategy that I built earlier now sucks. Okay? You can't have that. If you actually want, super chips, that's hot. That's hot news. You've got to have a quicker way to build heroes, okay? It's got to be a thing, because the faster you can build heroes, the more diversity you can have in your gameplay modes. So you could implement a game mode similar to Summoner's War. They had dungeons where you would fight bosses. The good thing about that mode is because it made you think about each boss you went to fight. They weren't all the same. They weren't all just throw this team at it, you're going to win. It was, this boss has these minions that do this kind of buffing and this kind of debuffing to your team. You're going to need to bring something to counter that, okay? Or this boss does just stupid amounts of critical damage. You've got to bring units that reduce crit or you're going to get smoked on. Certain things like that, just certain aspects of that boss fight that made you say, if I don't plan for this, I'm going to get creamed. Idle Heroes doesn't have a whole lot of that because it takes so long to build. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really put that mode in tomorrow, because if you did, it would just make a lot of people mad because, oh, well, this boss does insane amounts of crit damage and it just one-shots my team full of Adas. I can't kill it with my super cheesy ultimate meta team. Well, it's because your team doesn't reduce crit. But for you to turn around and build an E3 Queen, an E3 Gru, even an E3 Balrog with crit reduction on it, would take years. It would take forever for you to get that done. And it's like, at that point, you can't add strategy. So how do you fix that, Wrath? How do you fix the problem where it takes so long to build things, but also keep the game not only fun, but make it to where you can make the game more fun with new gameplay modes? And you're watching it right now. The Tower. The Tower is, it's a plethora of possibility. It's got a lot of potential here. It just doesn't really get utilized the way it should. The Tower right now is a very unrewarding gameplay mode, to be honest. Over the course of the entire time you play it, it gives you 12 5-star heroes, so 2 6-stars. That's it. Just keep that in perspective, it takes 4 6-star heroes to make 1 10-star. So it's not even halfway to a 10-star, and that's through the entire course of wave 1 to wave 385, where it gives you the last 5-star shards. And then it gives you little bitty doohickeys here and there, like the super chips, profit orb, stuff like that. But primarily what you do when you're fighting these is you're getting gold, promotion stones. It's not really super rewarding. How do you fix it, Wrath? How do you fix it? Very simple, okay? You want to streamline the building process? Oh, this is Walters, isn't it? Dingleberries. What are we going to do? I know what we're going to do. We're going to do this right here. That'll be a great way to run Walters. Hopefully. We'll see. But how do you fix that? Well, simple. Every single week, make the tower reset and have it have like a built-in smash feature, kind of like the Aspen Dungeon does. You might say, Wrath, that's a little weird. How would you make that work? Good thing I've thought about this in the last 30 minutes. It hasn't been, I haven't been focused on this like the last week. I woke up this morning like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Let's talk about it. So here it is. Here's my deeply thought out planning. Wow, we're smoking these dudes. I thought this would be much harder, but we're doing really well. Get wrecked on. Nerds, you suck. How much damage did you do, Berea? Oh, a buttload. You're great. Love you. Love you, Berea. You're my jam. You're my jam place. There we go. But anyways, if you have the tower where it resets every week, every single week, you're like, well, Wrath, that seems a little bit too much. Not really. If you think about it, having 6, here's the thing. Here's what I would do. First up, I would remove the 5-star shards from the pool. You don't need those, and they're too randomized. Sure, you could keep them in there, but why? What I would do is I would change the 5 stars into a random 6-star fodder at 2 certain waves, wherever it was that you hadn't managed to get to. When you smash to that, you would get a 6-star fodder. Boom. Random 6-star fodder can be used in any faction but light and dark. Why? Because that's kind of the big sticking point to building heroes is 6-star fodders. It's not necessarily the 9-star fodder. Yes, it takes a long time to build 9-star fodder, don't get me wrong. But if you were to regress a hero, like, listen, I'm not really using this one anymore, I want to kind of get rid of it, you can't really do that and turn around and immediately build something else unless you have a way to get that hero to 9 stars, which takes a lot of 6-star fodders, which you might not have. So if you did that, and you had, say, once you smash to 385, and that's where your smash would be. Have it smash every 50 levels, 25 levels, I don't care. Pick a smash point, make it work. What you could do is every single week, you would get a 6-star fodder, okay? Not bad. Over the course of a month, that would allow you to have 4 6-star fodders. That's a 10-star, okay? That's not bad. You can handle that. Wait, would that actually work out in math mode? Think about that. Would that be 2? You had, 12 would be 2 6-star fodders a week. That would take you to 8 6-star fodders in a month, okay? Which is, maybe you could say it's a little bit excessive, okay? Because that's like 2 10-stars per month. But if you think about it, when you're looking at E5 update, taking 2 10-star fodders to take an E3 to E5, yeah, it's going to be a big upgrade each month, but it makes it much more doable. It actually makes making progress and building different units actually feasible, so I'd be fine with it. Okay, honestly, I'd be okay with that. If it allows you to build heroes quicker, that's great, especially if your heroes have more purposes and more uses. That's what you want. As long as you keep the fodder from being used in Light and Dark faction, because obviously those heroes are the rarest. If you can just constantly fund yourself 6-star Light and Dark fodders, that would get a little broken really quick. You have people with like 12 E3 8s and crap, and it's like, listen, that's kind of broken. So keep them just stuck to regular faction heroes. There's a lot of regular faction heroes that actually have a lot of utility that don't get used because, well, there's no real good mode to use them in. There's no reason to build a Balrog right now. However, like I said, you throw a boss that does a bunch of crit damage and builds up crit. You have a Balrog in your team and you're just constantly reducing its crit, it's not going to get that big crit damage buff. It saves your team from dying. So even a useless unit right now like Balrog would have feasibility when you implement something later down the road like that. But that's the thing. Also, here's the deal. It would give the tower kind of a better reason to play it. Because right now, the rewards in the tower are pretty crappy, and they're one-time rewards. So like I said, I've been playing this game for 2 years. My main account has eked out all of 12 5-star heroes from the tower. Woo! You know, some orbs here and there, oh gosh. Not these turds. It is these turds. 100% it's these turds. I don't like Bloodblade at all. He sucks. Sucks so bad. Whatever. Like I said, on point to things. We're going to probably lose here. Can't even focus. I know Bloodblade's going to just wreck my soul, and I hate it. Bloodblade, please don't wreck my soul. Please don't do it. We're going to make it. Maybe. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Suck it, Bloodblade. You're trash. I'm amazing. E3 Dant kills all people. It's fantastic. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So if you implement that in with it, like every single week tower resets, it gives you gameplay to do every week, even if you're just trying to get back to where you were or trying to make that new smash point. Having it give you bunches of gold, bunches of promotion stones, that's great. You'd probably have to scale back, like it wouldn't be like the exact rewards you got when you cleared it the first time, or every single week you get like 200,000 promotion stones, which is a little excessive, and like 200 million gold, which is a little excessive. But even if you scaled that back by a factor of 10, and you got 20,000 promotion stones per week for smashing this, you got 20 million gold a week for smashing like to the higher levels of the tower, that's good. That's good. That gives you more loot to do more things with. Having a big gold spike increase like that also allows you to do other things. Oh, good Lord, Asmos? We'll see. We'll see what Asmo does. But that allows you to do other things, like perhaps increase the celestial treasure, like the little stone, the hero treasure, whatever they're called, the little stone you have on your hero that you upgrade with gold and dust. If you have a huge spike in gold income every month, it makes it more feasible to say, let's add a new tier of stone to your heroes that maybe has different effects on them, or something like that. Swap some of the effects around, make new best stones, things like that for more fun gameplay, more diverse builds. Now you can do that, not a problem. You could add even dust in here as rewards for your smashes. That would also work. But the main point is being able to streamline the building process, to build a hero quicker, to swap between heroes faster if you want to, but just mainly to be able to build a hero faster because, like I said, if you have a new hero, a new boss fight that comes out where you need these certain heroes to do well in it, if you're not willing to dedicate a year plus of your time to build those units, it's a boring game mode because it's useless. You can't beat it. It's not really doable. If you want to add what's the word? I'm looking for a word with my brain hole and it's not coming to me. There you go. If you want to add an adequate, that's a good word. It took me forever to get there. An adequate amount of challenge and strategy to a boss fight, you're going to need to make them hard to beat you can't just throw a random unit at it and win. You're going to have strategy to beat it. If you're going to have strategy to beat it, it means that probably most people will not have the required unit straight out the gate to beat this boss immediately. And if you don't have it that way, the way the game runs right now, being super long to build units, it's going to be really boring mode because no one's going to beat it for the next 2 years, which isn't really necessarily fun. So if you streamline the building process, you can build heroes much quicker now. It allows you to add things to your game that are more strategy based. And this is why I've always gravitated towards PvE. PvE is far more, I hate to say it to people who love PvP, even though I'm not really sure how you do. PvE is the more strategy oriented game mode. It is. Because, here's the thing. Heartwatcher, Sigmund, these are units that are like a year old, okay? They're old, and they're still just as viable in PvE today as they were when they launched. So you can strategize your build around making sure your team does insanely good boss damage by building units that are old. You can plan for that. If you know a boss does a lot of damage and just kind of wrecks your butt right now, you can build healers to offset that. You can build certain things to make sure you do the most damage to this broken space boss, or the most damage to this broken space boss, or the most damage to this Pray for Fire boss, whatever it may be. When it comes to Sigmund Marauders, if you don't have a Sigmund, good luck. Okay, that guy's going to eat your lunch because he's going to constantly be counterattacking your team, just kind of smoke through. Unless you got some insanely good healing, it's going to be a real problem, okay? A real problem. So, one of those deals that you couldn't really add it straight in. You couldn't add a really good strategy-based gameplay mode in without having quicker builds, okay? When it comes to PvP, the meta changes so dramatically and so constantly that it's worthless to really think that it's a really strategy-based thing. It's not. You just build the newest, most OP hero. That's not strategy. It's not strategy. I don't know what you want to call it. It's not strategy, okay? You could be the smartest person in the world. You could have won 15 chess championships blindfolded with no hands and come back and play this game as a free-to-play player and never do well in PvP ever, okay? It's not strategy. It's pretty much money and building the newest units. That's not strategy. In PvE, that's not the way it works. You actually have to strategize and make a build that works against fighting the bosses. It's the best thing. Okay, you could build a team of 6 Adas, take it into a boss battle, and you will do less damage than the guy who's built a smart team for PvE. Simply put. Even using things like Bloodblade will probably outdamage your Ada team. So, one of those deals where there's more strategy in PvE. And I think that's good for a game, because strategy is what makes games fun. Having to actually think about what you're going to do makes the game more fun. So, make the tower reset every week. Get you some 6-star random fodders. You can fodder into any regular faction you want to make building your regular faction heroes a whole lot easier. Even if you just want to give them in 5-star shard form, fine. It would just take a little bit longer because you're kind of gambling on what faction they're going to go into. I'd rather just get a 6-star fodder personally, because then you can put it in whatever faction you want to. Makes sense, right? Yes. Yes, it do. But there you go. Doing something like that massively increases the amount of time, or decreases, I'd say, the amount of time to build new heroes, which it opens up the door to adding new gameplay modes, like a good boss feature like Summoner's War had, where you had a bunch of different dungeons, maybe a dungeon that gives monster materials, a dungeon that gives arcane dust, a dungeon that gives gold. You say, we already have that in Broken Spaces. You really don't. They're not really a dungeon. The bosses really aren't unique. They're just bosses. There's like the only hard boss in Broken Spaces is the gold one, because it has crowd control. It's the only thing that makes it difficult. Like the only thing that makes that boss fight tough. There's no minions buffing and debuffing and adding actual strategy elements into the boss fight. It's just a guy with a huge amount of health that you smack on for a couple times till you kill it. That's what the boss battle is right now. There's not really a lot of strategy that goes into it. Is there some? Yes. You still have to negate crowd control if you want to do really well against the gold boss. You still have to keep your team alive against wave 3 of the other bosses. So there's still strategy that goes into it, but it could be much, much better. Much, much better. Having a boss that you could farm artifacts in, artifact shards, things like that. Have the bosses reset each week. I don't care. You could add, like I said, there's just so much you can add to this game and make it actually a lot more fun to play. Keep the strategy level alive, and that's how I would start it. I would start with a tower refresh that gives people the ability to build units much faster, because when you launch E3 or E5, it's going to be soon probably, it's gonna take forever to build those E5 units. Like, even if you're at a full E3 team right now, unless you've got 25 E3s because you're a megalodon whale who spent $40 billion, it's gonna take you a long time to get your team to E5. It's not gonna be something that happens it's a month after E5 that I got a full E5 team. No. Not even close. Okay, you're talking 6 months, a year, even for heavy spenders to get to an E5 team. It's a long time. Okay, I mean, like I said, if you're a newer player, you're looking at that from this, like, you have 0. You have a 5-star Norma, and you've got to get a full team of E5s. Good luck. Okay, you got a long road ahead of you, buddy. So streamline the process. Make it quicker to build. Start adding more strategic-based gameplay into the game. Being able to farm artifacts. Even if you wanted to make a really hard dungeon where you could farm event-based resources, that would be something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to farm, even if it's like something like arena chips and super wishing fountain coins or something. Who cares? Make that boss a thing. Have a rare drop for orbs or something. I don't care. Add a way, like, here's the thing. Here's one thing that kind of gets me, okay? Back in the day, I know I'm kind of rambling off the walls here, but I kind of want to make the game better. I do. I want the game to be more fun to play. And it seems like if they keep pushing like E5 updates and stuff like that, that doesn't really add gameplay, you're going to be in a pickle really soon where no one wants to play your game because it's just boring. So I kind of want to nip that in the bud and start adding an avenue where you can add more gameplay that's more fun. And I totally forgot what I was going to talk about after this. I got back on my rant about that. So, brain. I know it's totally gone. Totally gone. Whatever I was thinking, it is sailed the ship. I'll see it in editing and be like, oh, stupid Wrath, that was great. You had a great idea going there, and then it was gone. It was totally gone. So I don't know. I don't know where that was going. But it was going to be good. Just think about something that was really good. It was that, and now it's gone. Now it's gone. So how are we looking in the rankings, just by the way? Are we up in a... Are we... Oh, it's like, there's no way. We need to get to 452. That'll get us into a place. You know what I'm saying? That'll get us back to somewhere. I'm still trying to think about where I lost my train of thought. I hate that. Hate that with my whole brain. Losing my train of thought. Stupid brain. You're so dumb, brain. It was there. I don't know. Either way, like I said, streamline the building process. That's the main point. Streamline the building process. Make it where you can build heroes faster. You can add more strategic gameplay that way. It's going to make the game a better game. It's more fun to play. The more fun your game is to play, especially for someone who just picks it up. Like, if you just download today and you see E5, it's going to be like this is going to take forever. This is going to take absolutely ages for me to ever get any progress. Do I want to do that to myself? And you might not want to. So if you can build heroes much quicker, you can do more challenging content faster. That's a good thing, especially like if you make the tower an actual place that's worth farming in, and actually it's worth going in and fighting in the tower and doing your damages there and making those new top tier waves or whatever it is, you know, getting to the new whatever highest level is. It actually makes adding waves to the tower a decent expansion of content rather than being just what it is now, where it's like, well, you can get to the top of the leaderboards, but the loot still blows. Woo! It's not really exciting to add waves to the tower right now. If you made the tower a much more useful mode in the game, wouldn't be a problem. Wow, Dant ate that wave like no one's problem. Dant, you're a beast. Dant, you are a freak beast. Ooh, Dant's getting a skin, too. People kept telling me, so I had to go look it up. It looks like he is getting a skin. I was excited. I'm excited about that. Are we now in the top 10? Is that what happened with that? It is. It is. We're top 10. I think that's good enough. That's definitely good enough. But there we go. A little bit of gameplay today. A little bit of me fighting in the tower. Not super exciting gameplay in the tower because I kind of smoked through most of it. I didn't think we lost once. We just kind of smoked through them. It went well. I like that. I like it when things go well in the tower. No anger raging. But that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the game open up because like it seems like they want to put the paywalls in, and instead of making the paywalls like if you look at Clash of Clans, it used to be like when it started, like it was a big paywall because you could spin your way to the top and you would win for like pretty much ever until people caught up. But as the new stuff has come out, they've made it way easier for people who just started the game to catch up to older people. That's not a bad deal. That actually makes your game more fun for a new player. Because what's the fun in joining a game and saying, oh, I'm at the very bottom end of everything and I will never catch up. Like, it's impossible for me to ever get to the point the other people are at. It's going to take years and years and years. I don't know. To me, it's kind of boring. Okay? So if you can fix that area of the game and make it like start adding in things to make it quicker to build things, it makes it more fun for free-to-play players, more fun for new players, and it allows a deeper form of strategy-based combat to enter the game, which I think is probably the most fun challenge in mobile games, is having good strategy. You know, you got a lot of area over here. You could add a new boss mode, okay? There's a lot of empty screen. There's a lot of empty screen over here. You could add more stuff in. It's just, it's time. It's time to start adding gameplay to the game. And that's my take on it. That's what I would do. If I was a dev, I'd make a smashable tower. And even if you want to, like when you talk about getting up into like, how many waves are there in the tower? Like 600 or something weird? 650? I don't know. If you want to make it to where you get to wave 550 to 600 and you get a light dark 6-star random fodder for smashing that far, great. You've added an incentive to get to the tippy top of the tower now that's actually more than just being on a leaderboard, because really that's the main thing that the tower's for, is a leaderboard. The loot isn't that great. It's just not very good in most cases. You've got to make it repeatable, make it smashable like the Aspen Dungeon. Get your loot coming in that way, because it opens up a lot of different avenues for the game. It really does. And I feel like the devs are missing out on a lot of content, even in just one game mode. Like I said, Tower of Oblivion right now is super boring. Well, it's right now it's one of the funner things that I do, to be honest. But either way, like, it's just not rewarding. It's not really important to push. Like, honestly, you could take my account and leave it at Tower 1 and spend the money I spent, and you would be very close to, if not almost exactly the same amount of progress into the game as I am now without ever touching the tower. It's not necessary to make progress. It really isn't. But yeah, fix this. Make the tower something that's really fun. Increase the amount of, increase the quickness of building heroes. Start adding some strategy-based gameplay to the game. Okay? It would be good. It would be good for the game. It promotes diversity in unit builds. You know, it's a good thing. I think that would be great. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. But this morning it felt like a good idea. So I figured, hey, while we're smashing through the tower, we'll talk about it, and we'll be all up in your ear holes about how I would change the game, because I think that's important to focus on solutions to problems rather than just to gripe about problems, because that doesn't get anything done for you, ever, okay? Like, if you're a scrawny dude and you're like, oh, I'm so scrawny, I wish I was buff, whining about being scrawny isn't going to make you buff. Hate to break it to you. It just gives you something to do. You know what you ought to be doing? Eating more food and hitting the weights. Guess what? Boom, you're buff, problem solved. Solutions, okay? How you need to do things, all right? Work on stuff like that. Work on being a solution person, not a gripey about problem person, because griping about your problems never fixes them ever, even once. So, boop, there you go. That is going to be it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it, I don't know, maybe like it was a good idea. I felt like it was a good idea, so that's why I said it. But anyways, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please make sure, smash that thumbs up button to show your support, and I will see you guys in the next one.